We have a bunch of news to cover, including some new mechanics that have just been revealed for Disney Lorcana's next set, ARCHAZIA'S Island. This includes dual ink cards, new illusion and vanish mechanics, and also dates for upcoming sets, changes to set championships, and much, much more. So let's take a look. What's up, Illumineers? It's Charlie and Mateus back, and as we said, we have so much news to cover today, including some new mechanics and dual ink types, something we've been predicting for sets now.
We've been trying for a long time. It's finally happening, and we're very excited about it. There's so much to cover, so let's get started.
Yes. So we do have firm dates now for Disney Lorcana's next set, ARCHAZIA'S Island. It's going to be reaching hobby stores on March 7th, and it will receive a mass retail release on March 21st. So that means we're just 5 weeks away now.
It's very, very close.
There's a lot to see.
There's so much to see.
Yeah. We also got some dates for future set. And so we knew the next set that was going to be following ARCHAZIA'S Island would be the Reign of Jafar. And that's going to be receiving its wide release on June 6th. But for the first time ever, we're also going to be seeing some pre-release events, which are going to be held on May 30th. We don't have that many details of them right now, but there are going to be special events you can attend at your local game stores. Yes. Going to be exclusive cards as well.
Yes, apparently they'll be giving promos for purchasing the boxes and other things. It's just trying to reinforce more and more the ecosystem of local game stores, which is very good. Yeah. So we're going to try that out for the first time with Reign of Jafar, set 8.
Yeah.
But there's more. There's also set 9, or we believe it's set 9.
Yes, so Fabled, Welcome to the Story, is scheduled for Q3, so that's going to be following the Reign of Jafar. But what is Fabled?
We don't know.
There's a lot of speculation online. The natural conclusion I think we can reach is maybe it's going to be a new set of Disney Lorcana, but it could also mean something else.
Yeah, we believe it's the third year. It's just introducing the third year in the same way the Shimmer Skies did as well previously, finishing with Reign of Jafar. We have a lot of guesses looking at this art. The artwork seems to refer a lot to the Brave Little Tailor, some that shot from the cartoon. But also it looks a lot like the rides, right, from Disney parks. Just speculation at the time.
That's our hope.
Beautiful,
I'd love
though.
to see some attractions getting some cards in
all
Disney
for Fabled.
But of course, before those new sets, we do have ARCHAZIA'S Island, and it has been confirmed by Ravensburger that reveal season is going to be starting on February 10th. So that's when you're going to be seeing the bulk of these cards. It is quite a condensed timeline. Normally we start getting card reveals much, much sooner, but it's going to be a pretty intense 3-week period.
It's going to be crazy in comparison to what we had.
As we cover all of this. So be sure to subscribe to Inkborn Heroes. We're going to be covering all of the news and also a bunch of other things. So yeah, check it out.
So even though the official reviews are starting on February 10, there was actually kind of something happening on the official marketing materials for the game, specifically for ARCHAZIA'S Island, where a lot of things actually got leaked. But very exciting, that's where all those new mechanics are coming through.
Yeah, and the big headline, of course, long speculated, it is dual ink colors. So we saw the cards for the starter decks. Both starter decks include cards with the dual ink color. So because, of course, this was an unofficial reveal, we don't have full details of how dual ink is going to work. Our speculation, because of the way Lorcana's inking system works and the ink restrictions in decks, we're going to imagine that a card like Belle, who is a Ruby Sapphire dual ink card, can only be used in Ruby Sapphire decks. That might not be the case.
Just assumption this time.
That's just our assumption, but it seems that would align with the rules. We're going to get confirmation very shortly, officially from Ravensburger, we can expect. And how many dual ink color cards we're going to receive, we're not sure. There are 15 potential ink color combinations in the game. We've seen 2 of them here for Ruby Sapphire, so we can maybe expect a minimum of 30.
We're just trying to assume like a right balance across all ink colors, so it just makes sense that if we're getting 2 under this color combination, we're going to be getting 2 under everything else, so a total of 30. But we never know, right? We're just going back to how locations were introduced and so on. What is interesting here, obviously coming from that assumption again, is what is the benefit if you cannot use those cards out of the color combination deck that you already set up? What is the benefit of that? I think at the end of the day, when we look at Belle specifically, or all the cards that has been showing so far, it looks like a powerhouse type of card. It does feel quite strong in a way. And it can also, obviously, the mechanic introduced to that can be associated to that color combination. So you can start seeing in the type of archetype stuff coming from Ruby and stuff coming from Sapphire. So that's very interesting.
And I think it's going to be a good way for them to, if there's an ink color combination that maybe doesn't do too well in the metagame, something like Amber Sapphire is a deck that hasn't really seen much success. They can release a dual ink card that makes that ink color combination very strong.
It pushes for experimentation, right? And I think it's just the way to go instead of actually allowing you to pick any of those colors and associate to another color combination, which could be the case. We're just assuming at this stage, but I can imagine a lot of hard time balancing this type of mechanics if you do that. It's just exciting. The card looks beautiful. We love how it merges together over there, and I just can't wait to see everything else. Really.
And we will cover these cards in more detail once they're officially revealed, because we don't want to...
We're waiting for the official part, and we'll do videos about the mechanics and everything else. So stay tuned.
But that being said, there is one card that we did get a look at that introduces 2 new mechanics to Disney Lorcana, so we wanted to talk about those. And that is Iago, Giant Spectral Parrot. So he has the Illusion classification, which is a new one we haven't seen before. So illusions are potentially going to synergize with other cards. The new Jafar that was revealed seems to synergize with illusion cards, so we're likely to see interactions there.
It's hard to say exactly what it is because the card is not shown as we can see on the screen. You cannot read it entirely, but it almost feels like a way for the card to bring it back illusions. Kind of the similar way when you have the magic brooms and so on.
Yes.
So we'll see how that expands. But with an illusion, it seems like it comes kind of a negative effect, which is the Vanish. It's the other mechanic.
Yes, so Iago does have incredibly good stats for a 4-cost character. The downside, of course, is that this Vanish mechanic means that when an opponent chooses this character for an action, you're going to be banishing them. So that is the downside of it.
It's very, very important because there's so many people asking online, what is the banishing then? The banishing then is this card, is Iago himself. So whoever has that Vanish keyword associated to the card runs the risk. It's kind of the negative side of being such a powerful card. But obviously, if illusion starts taking more and more presence, I would imagine that a lot of synergy will allow to bring it back. But it's an illusion at the end of the day, so it's easy to vanish more than just hitting the last willpower.
Yeah. And it's interesting to say with the actual ability of Vanish, this means that if you choose this character for any action, it's going to banish them. So naturally, if you're using a damage song like Let the Storm Rage On, that's going to immediately banish this character. But you can also use things like Good Job, which gives a character an extra law. Because you're choosing that character for that action, it's also going to banish them. So it gives you some counterplay, not just in decks that deal damage, but even like an aggro deck could potentially deal with Iago if they
That's very true. And again, you said another word that is very important, is choosing. So it has to be chosen. You cannot use an action like Grab Your Sword that affects the whole board. That wouldn't immediately banish Iago because you did not choose Iago. But if you do target him, then yes, then it just happens. That's our understanding again. We're assuming a lot of things, but it's the wording. It's what makes sense. That is pretty clear, to be honest, yes.
So another thing we saw this week was some new concept art, really getting us our first good look at Archasia.
Yeah, it's very interesting because obviously on sets 5 and 6, we've been seeing a lot of hints of Archasia across the board, across different cards, like her claws or paws, her
symbol, right, in the treasure chest from Billy Bones.
Exactly, the presence on the map. So we've been seeing, we know that, but now we have a full picture of who Archasia is. She does have a mask. I wonder if she could reveal something else under the mask. But this is, as far as we know, a brand new character, unique for Disney Lorcana, right? Until her mask comes down. But what we want to do super quickly, and we posted that on Instagram as well, is we actually look at this concept art very up close to see, are there any new franchises or new characters or even old characters coming back? And there are a lot to see here.
There's a lot hinted, yes.
And it's very, very cool. So I want to go through that. I think especially just zoom in, Charlie. Zoom in the Mushu and the Mulan just there. You can finally see Mushu has his presence on Mulan's shoulder. And we'll see later in this video when we look at the trove, the review of the trove from inside. It is fully confirmed that Mushu is part.
Yes.
So finally, very, very excited.
It only took us 7 sets, but we got
exactly.
that.
He is here, and I can't wait to see him. So we have some Mulan here. We have more from Mulan with Yao, Chenpo, and Ling as well, just running across and around Mulan in this maze-like environment. That is super cool. More from Beast and Belle, obviously, as we saw in the starter decks, right? So they seem to be wearing their normal outfit, but obviously it's gonna correspond to whatever cards are coming. Dalmatians, so 98, 99, 100, 101, all of them are there. Obviously, not all of them.
We knew we were getting pets, so it's nice to see more Dalmatians.
It makes sense, obviously.
And I'm hoping we get more synergies because really we want to make that Dalmatian deck work.
I know, and I'm hoping that it goes more than just Umber as well. Obviously, we had Pongo and Ruby before, but imagine going to more colors. That would be amazing. And then we're talking about animals. We did see a squirrel there. We thought, is that Bucky? Is that Arthur from Sword in the Stone? Because it looks different, the concept art, when you look up close. But what you don't know, look at this concept art, is there's another version of that for the starter deck boxes, the compartment around the starter decks that shows Kronk and Yzma following this squirrel. So we're only assuming it's Bucky, unless they're confused. They think it's Bucky and they're following Arthur. We'll see, time will tell, but more animals, which makes sense. Then quite in the front of the screen, we have Alice. Obviously, she's back. We see Mad Hatter in all the different marketing materials. There's a little bit of the March hair as well. It's hard to see, but it's there, so it makes sense Alice is there.
And are we finally going to see a Storyborn Alice make it into the game? I think they've all been Dreamborn or Floodborn so far.
So we never had, I think maybe her depiction of Storyborn was in actions, but not a character itself.
Yeah, maybe.
That's crazy. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I love the classics. And finally, there were actually, if you see on the top right of the concept art, there's this silhouette of three things. It might be nothing. It might be the environment. But who are these? I started to think it could be the Fates from Hercules, maybe coming back.
Or it could be the Good Fairies.
The Good Fairies, they look quite skinny, but it could be the Good Fairies in a Dreamborn type of fate. But as well, it could just be other followers of Arcadia, because they do look like they are wearing the same uniform and the same body shape.
And this is Disney Lorcana, so it could just be Stitch 3 times as well. Or 3 more Sisus.
3 Sisus enchanted, so you can sell it as crazy, but time will tell. Very exciting. It's been a very crazy review season for us, so anything we get right now, we're happy about it. And we're finally covering, so I hope you like what you're seeing as well.
And although she's not featured in the concept art there, we do know that Lady and the Tramp are going to be joining Disney Lorcana with Arcasia's Island. So we are going to see some more pets, some more puppies. I think this is really, really exciting to see.
You can see her friends on the back as well,
John,
so I'm sure they're going to make the cut as well. And obviously another franchise confirmed, as you're seeing the marketing materials, is Bolt. So we have 2 dogs franchises. Can we have more? I want another dog, the Fox and the Hound.
Yes, please give us Toby. Yeah. And I think this is another card lady that is representing that jewel ink type.
Exactly, color. It's very emerald and amber, right?
Is,
Bolt, as we said in our Instagram long ago.
It was amber and steel.
Feels like amber steel, and I think we had seen another one. No, we haven't. So those 2, and they are both, so it seems like dual ink, so I'll be curious about it.
So let's take a quick look at the product lineup for this set. Matthias will be putting out his regular pre-order guide, so you can look at those all in detail. But first of all, our favorite product every single time, it's the Trove. A few things to note about the Trove. We've got all of the same regular things we'd expect. We've got 8 packs, we've got damage counters, we've got a lore counter, and we have the ink dividers, but there are 7 ink dividers this time, which of course hints at that dual ink.
And that makes sense now. We've been asking, why do we, up to yesterday, only got pictures of the Trove closed, nothing on the back. And that's it. It's synced into the 7-card divider, which is for dual ink colors. And it also confirms Mushu. So I think it's 2 things to look up close here, which are amazing. And obviously all those arts are from using in the dividers are converted into card arts. So we're looking at other Baymax, we're looking at another...
the Queen, Pete, Bianca,
and the puppies.
Bongo,
so I'm so happy.
I've got to say, I really love the switch to the character art on the dividers. Like they looked beautiful before, but I think the card art is so beautiful. You've got to celebrate
and
it.
And the lead of this Trove is like out of this world. I'm just very happy about it.
And then a new product for this set. Remind me what it's called, Matthias?
It is the gift box. The Lilo gift box.
So this is an interesting one. So it seems like the gift box itself is going to be similar to what was given out at League in order to organize your cards in a smaller
compartment,
smaller container than the Trove. Alongside the gift box, it's also going to include 5 packs from sets 2 to 6. So it's going to be one of each of those, I believe. And you're also going to get a promo card of Lilo Escape Artist. I love this card. It's in my deck, so I'll definitely be picking up the gift set for that. And it's also got some dividers as well.
It does. It's all based on numbers. So I'm just assuming that they might start doing that for other sets with different ink colors.
So it's going to if they do this every single set, it's going to take you a year and a half to get the whole set.
But some things that are interesting to call it out here, obviously, that is probably the equivalent to a gift set. They're calling gift box. So that's the additional product on the side. This card is not from set 7, as Charlie said, it's Azurite Sea, so set 6. But also what is very interesting to say here is, as Charlie said, this is a card from Azurite Sea, so that's set 6, even though it's coming out as set 7. I believe this gift box is replacing the common gift set. We'll see how it goes across the board. But what is super cool is if you look at this and the new promo card that was recently announced for Costco, that you can buy from Costco products with the pirate Mickey Mouse. It has a completely different look. It feels more colorful. And you see the borders are following the color of the ink type. And there's this sparkly effect above the text. So the question that stays until we know more is this the new approach for promo cards in general? Or are those for unique promo cards that you only acquire via these products? Time will tell. It's very cool. We have the 2 minds of how we like about the design, but the community seems to be receiving super, super well.
It looks better in amber than ruby.
Exactly, I felt the same. So it'll be interesting, but beautiful card. If you want to get this art, it's exclusive to the gift box.
And then we also got our first look at the starter decks. So one starter deck, which is featuring Jafar and Iago, is going to be the Amethyst Steel starter deck. It looks like it's going to be including everything we've seen in the past, so we'll be very excited to get our hands on that, and we'll be having gameplay on the channel once it's released. And then the other starter deck featuring Belle and Beast is the Ruby Sapphire starter deck. Again, same content, and both starter decks introducing us to that dual ink type card. Of course, it wouldn't be a new set if we didn't get a new booster box, and we do get a booster box featuring art from the Mad Hatter, Mirabelle, and Bolt, who of course is coming with this release. So yeah, another look at some of the cards coming. I can't wait to see what they actually do once they're revealed.
I want more animals.
Yes. Also joining the product lineup are 2 new playmats, one featuring Tigger in the Crow's Nest, as well as the song We Can Be Immortals. I love both of these playmats. They look absolutely incredible.
And obviously they are from Azurite Sea as well. So
yeah.
it's following the new pattern, they can use arts from previous sets.
Yeah.
So this is coming straight from Azurite Sea. Hopefully we get some Archazia's Island design for next set release.
I hope so.
And then when it comes to the sleeves and the deck boxes, we have Cinderella Ballroom Sensation from set 2. That's based on the enchanted art.
Yeah.
And we have Ursula, Deceiver of All.
Ursula Deceiver all from Into the Inklands.
That's it. Super, super cool choices as well. So good job.
And then the last thing we want to cover is some changes to the way set championships are going to be handled moving forward. I think as of the Reign of Jafar.
As of the Reign of Jafar, but registrations for LGS starts as of ARCHAZIA'S Island.
Yeah. Yes. So there was a long post that was shared with the organized play retailers Facebook group. It of course made it onto the internet, as all things always do. So there was a bunch of information in there. One of the things is, yes, the set championships are going to be changing the pricing structure. So there is going to be only one playmat, only for the champion. So there'll be no runner-up playmat anymore. There are going to be 8 enchanted foil promos given to top 8, as we know about. But they're also going to be giving out 40 enchanted non-foil cards to people who register for these events, which is really something I think the community has been asking for. It's pricing pretty much for everyone. Most of these events are 32 players max.
It just makes sense. It's like pushing and kind of created a relationship with the LGS and also attracting new players into it. When we look at that, we feel like they were probably testing the waters with the prices of the DLC.
Yeah.
Right, when you see the versions of Rapunzel full art but non-foil, and then Rapunzel foil, the same with Cusco and Baymax. So it only makes sense, and I'm actually quite happy with that.
Me too.
I think it gives some value for the playmat as well, even though there was the wording. There was always a little bit of, in my opinion, less value when there's more, so it's a cool thing. Obviously, that also makes it more competitive and more expensive.
Yeah, so
which is no good.
It means the person who wins gets a prize that is actually, I think, going to hold its value more.
That's it.
Whereas, kind of, you also have your participant prizes. You get that recognition of making top 8 by having the foil, and everyone basically gets the non-foil. So I think it does a really good job of the balancing between the more competitive and also the people who are just getting into competitive events for the first time. And let us know down in the comments what you think about those changes to the pricing structure. Are you going to miss the runner-up playmat, or are you just excited to be getting one of those non-foil promo cards?
And also with those news, we also found out that from that moment when it starts the new process, LGSs won't use melee anymore. There's going to be a Ravensburger dedicated space where you're going to register and do everything. If you are a local game store owner, you're going to get all that information, obviously, to start registering for the next steps, for the OP kit and so on. So, but it's still overall very good. I think it makes sense to create that on ecosystem.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that also means that hopefully Ravensburger will have more control of seeing who is actually running those events in a legal way, who is not just reselling, right? Because it's being a problem we've been seeing a lot, right? So it's a right way to go. It might be a hard transition, but it's the right way to go. So I'm very excited. Yeah.
So that is all of the news. It was a lot. It was very much all over the place. But as reveal season starts, we're going to be having those card reveal videos for you, analyzing each one of those. So be sure to hit like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for all of those videos in future. And we have a lot more planned as well.
Just stay tuned, because obviously with new sets is coming new mechanics. Every single mechanic will be covered on this dedicated guide. That's how we do it. And also when we're doing the card review, we're going to have our tracker back. We're going to have to reorganize the design of the tracker.
I don't know how you're going to fit the dual link.
We're going to make something work. So just come hang with us to give us our opinion, because maybe you might be like, I don't like the way you did it. I still gonna have to stick to that, but we can try our best to make it work. So thank you so much for watching. Honestly, stay tuned. We're really hoping that we get more news, including the trailer for ARCHAZIA'S Island very soon. So we're gonna have more videos, and we're gonna do the pre-order guide as well. So thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, and of course, thank you to our YouTube members. We really, really, really appreciate you. If you are yourself interested in becoming a YouTube member, you can hit the join button down below and get all of the details.
And don't forget that we also have our Discord server. The link is just down below. During this review season, we get so much comments and all the interaction with the community, so that's the best time to join. So come check it out.
Yeah, join the discussion. And until next time, happy questing.